Hello, I'm Aaron Gamble, and welcome to this installment of Hats Sports Talk, Season 7, Episode 9. Guest starring Samantha Kaye-Toral. She's a soccer player for CMU. Just finished up her senior season with the Chippewas. So get the opening credits started. Let's get going. Samantha, welcome to the show. It's so cool to have you on as the first soccer player to appear on this show. So let's just start off. Where are you from, and how'd you get into soccer?
I'm from Marietta, California, so that's right in between LA and San Diego. I'm about like an hour from each. And then basically, my dad just threw me into soccer when I was 4 because he loved it and he played it growing up. And so I ended up loving it.
All right. So what high school did you attend and all the way out there in California? And did you play any other sports in high school besides soccer?
I attended Marietta Mesa High School and I did not play any of the sports. I wanted to play volleyball, but I just didn't have time with my club.
Okay. Now, speaking of that club, what can you tell me the name of that club? How'd you get involved with them and how did you juggle playing with them and then play for your high school, juggling all that and plus being a student as well?
Yeah, I transferred to Arsenal FC ECNL from Marietta FC, so it was kind of like more competition. We were able to go to scouting tournaments with like big time colleges in Arsenal FC ECNL. Basically, the reason I went there is because my coach transferred over there. That was my coach for Marietta FC, and I just kind of followed her. And some of my teammates did as well because we wanted like bigger than just a local club. And juggling it wasn't that hard just because high school season was different than club season. So when club season was over, we were able to just do high school season and focus on that. So it wasn't that hard. And being a student also, it was hard, but it was definitely doable.
All right. So what colleges reached out to you and when did they start reaching out to you in high schools? Were they mainly California schools or schools across the country or
Um, so for our scouting tournaments, we had to put down an email for our for the colleges to reach out to us on, and I lost like contact with that email. Like I don't know what happened to that email. I couldn't get into it or anything. So I don't know if any colleges were trying to reach out to me in high school. But at that time, I also didn't know if I wanted to play soccer at the collegiate level. Um, and then the colleges that actually reached out to me were during my community college era. And so that was mainly Texas A&M, Texarkana, University of Maine, and then CMU.
okay, you said Texas A&M. That's a huge one. That's a big school.
It's not the big one though. It's like the Texas A&M Texarkana, so it's not like the
Hmm,
actual. Yeah.
okay. But still, having your name affiliated with Texas A&M would that's pretty big. So what made so out of it, did you want to stay local being in for like community college for your first 2 years? Is that what
I
your
did.
plan was?
Yeah, for community college, I wanted to stay local just because I have to pay for my own schooling, and so I needed to be able to afford a college that I was going to. So I couldn't go big time yet, and that's why I stayed local.
Okay. So as a Comet, you were named first team all conference in 17-18 Canada for player of the year, two-time MVP, team as a captain, 7 goals and 9 assists. All those stats are very impressive with all the successes you had there. Did you want to stay local as a Comet or did you like want to branch out and potentially go down to Texas or maybe go to Central or go to Maine or something like that?
I wanted to branch out. I am very independent. I've always been very independent, so I think it was my time to branch out and like be on my own for a little while. And I also wanted bigger competition. And although like competition is good in California, I just feel like I needed to test somewhere else for competition. So that's why I went to Central Michigan.
Yeah. So yeah, how did a MAC school, yeah, like Central Michigan get a hold of you? Like, what was that process like? Did you get an email from our head coach and from the head coach for CMU soccer? Just take me through all that. How about the Chips getting a hold of you?
I actually emailed CMU because it caught my attention because I was looking at different schools in different areas, and CMU caught my attention for some reason. I don't know why. So I emailed the head coach, and I think that day he emailed me back and he asked for a phone call meeting, and then he basically was like, I want to take you, I want you to come on an official visit within like I think it was like a month because it was already May, so it was already close to having to commit somewhere. Um, and so basically, I just went up there, and then I ended up committing.
Yeah, because seeing just Central, I mean, being from California, probably Michigan or Michigan State would be the schools that would stand out, the biggest
Mm.
schools in the state. But just seeing Central as as the first one is really just it's interesting to hear because Michigan and Michigan State again have that such big power over the MAC schools and stuff like that. That's so cool to hear. So when you came, so when, so obviously was that your first time visiting the state of Michigan? Was on your visit?
It was, yes.
So when you came to CMU. What was your initial reaction to this? Not only to the thoughts of the state, but the campus of Central as well.
It was a little intimidating because I came from like a small community college where everything was very close to each other. There wasn't that many people either. So it was a little intimidating, but it was actually like very exciting, like realizing that I could be at like this big school with like this big opportunity to play D1 soccer. And everyone was so nice there, like so nice. The coaches, the staff, like the teammates that I was going to be teammates with, like they were very nice. So all in all, like it was a very good experience.
So speaking of experiences, I gotta know because we've had a few so far, even though it's beginning of November. Your first snow experience in this state, did you like it, loved it, hate it, or just like eh?
I liked it for the first week. I remember I was like taking a bunch of pictures, like showing my family, like, wow, like look at all this, like it's so cool, like the snow. Because if I want snow at home, I have to drive to it, and it's about like 2 hours to drive
In
to
the
the snow
north,
up in the
right?
mountains.
Yeah.
Yes, and yeah, so it was pretty cool for like the first week, but then I was like, oh, it's just too cold. There's nothing you can do in the snow. Like it just sucks. So
I was going to say this. It's not just a 1 week, 1 week free trial. You get to see snow in this state. You're stuck with
I
it
know.
we're about stuck with it for about 4 months in the year, and we're already starting to get some of it in November, which I'm like, I'm irritated.
I know.
And I've grown up in Michigan my entire life, so I don't know why I get frustrated every year. Kind of like watching the Lions get frustrated every year, but um. What was the adjusting period like for you as a student athlete, not only as a new college, but in a new state? You're away from your family. Um, was it hard adjusting to it all and meeting your new teammates, your roommates?
It was really tough with the time change at first because I'm
Oh yeah.
3 hours behind in California. So if we had to wake up for like 5 a.m. workouts, it'd be like 2 a.m. at home. So I'd like have to try to adjust to that. And I couldn't really fall asleep until midnight time. So it would just suck because I like my sleep schedule and everything was just messed up. And then also with like um, meeting new people, like the teammates, the roommates, and stuff like that. It was really hard for me because I'm very like closed off. It takes me a while to open up to people, like be comfortable around people. So it took me a while to like get used to that, but it was definitely worth it when I started creating like bonds and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, first of all, just you being open to just appear on this show is just awesome enough. So I thank you for that. And just trusting me and and this is the show and the show's history and stuff like that. So, what are you majoring in right now?
Sociology,
Oh, okay, with a minor in.
psychology.
Nice, nice, nice. So now in the 2019 season, you played 14 games, 6 starts, you had 3 goals, scored your first goals at Chippewa at Bowling Green on my 19th birthday in 10-10, which is pretty funny. You earned your first career point, assisting on a game winner at Ball State. So 10 total shots to that game. So take me through your first game as a Chip. Were you nervous, excited, a mixture of emotions?
Um, I think I started really playing like I think 2 games after the first game. I don't remember. It was against I think Indiana State at home. And I remember I've never played defense in my entire life, but somehow like they threw me in defense that game. And I was really nervous because I just that's never like in my 19 years of playing, like I've never played defense before. So when I realized that I was playing defense and starting as a defender, I remember going back to the dorm and throwing up just because I was so nervous about it. But it was a good experience. I mean, like being on the field and being a starter is like a huge thing. Like that's so like amazing. Like that's a dream, you know what I mean? Um, but it was good. Like I liked it. It was good.
So now I have to ask because that number 3 that you're wearing right now and the number 3 you wore for your career stands out to me. So is there a reason? Is there a reason why you wore the number 3? Is it just another number that's only available for because a teammate of yours had a previous number of yours, or is there a meaning behind the number 3?
I honestly, I just like grabbed it because it was the only number that was left.
It was the only number that was left because I saw you wore number 2 when you're back out in California.
Yeah, they didn't have to here.
Because some of your teammates probably grabbed it. No, 3 is a good number to have. It's always a good
Yeah.
number to have. Now heading into the 2020 year, just acquainted with the life here. It's Central on and off the pitch, and then boom, season's done. Tell me where you were and what your initial thoughts were as your senior season was canceled due to the pandemic.
I remember I was at work back at home because we got sent home for, I think it was 2 weeks because it was the beginning of the pandemic.
Yes.
And I remember I was at work and I was in like my manager's office and I got the text on GroupMe that our season was going to be canceled. And I remember I was like very upset just because that was my last season. I didn't think of like a 5th year thing. Like I didn't think of that. Like that didn't pop in my head. I just thought like, wow, like it's done. Like I don't even get to play my last game. So it was definitely very overwhelming at first.
I can only imagine just getting that text as interviewed a lot of different chips in their different in different sports in their time in the pandemic. It just crushed them. It just it crushed everybody. So and that's but we'll get to your final year because you ended up did playing another year for the chips in a second. But first, Samantha, this is a segment I do with every single guest, all 45 that have appeared so far. So I'll rapid fire 7, just 7 random questions just to get to know you better. So first off, I want to know favorite activity for fun back home in California.
Definitely going to amusement parks on my days off.
Which ones? I'm not, us in Michigan aren't, really know what's
Oh,
out there.
there's like Six Flags and Knott's Berry Farm. Those are good ones.
Okay. Favorite food or favorite type of food in California and favorite type of food in Michigan to eat.
In California, it's definitely Mexican food. And then in Michigan, it's definitely Italian food.
Okay, yeah, because Michigan, for some reason, we have a really good Italian food around here. For some
You
reason,
do.
it. Well, I want to go to California. I want to go to California just to check it out. I want to see LA and all that kind of stuff, the beaches and all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. So I'll definitely keep an eye out for that. And what is your favorite place to eat in the city of Mount Pleasant / Central Michigan University's campus?
Probably Hunter Ailes' house.
Hunter Ailes' house. That's like the third chip that said that. I really got to check that out. That's the third chip I've had on here that said Hunter's Ale House. I got to check that one out. So your favorite song or playlist to listen to on game day?
Mine's gonna be "Ain't No Mountain High Enough" by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell.
Marvin Gaye, Motown. I like it. I like it. I don't know if you know this, but Marvin Gaye actually tried out for the Detroit Lions at one point.
Oh, I did not know that.
So, uh, your favorite TV series of all time?
The Office.
Okay. Next question. Um, next question. I'm a Friends person, anyways. So,
Oh.
your favorite. Okay, this might be a little bit of a stretch because what you said earlier. What's your favorite thing about winters in Michigan?
Honestly, probably the possibility of classes being canceled that day.
Oh, that's a very slim to none thing. That's a really slim to none thing. I hope you've gotten to realize that they don't cancel for nothing.
Yeah, I know.
And in the summer in California, it gets obviously really hot. Michigan in the summer, it gets hot as well. What are your go-to ice cream and also ice, can't have ice cream without cake. Your favorite ice cream and cake flavors?
Ice cream is going to be chocolate malted crunch from Thrifties. And then cake flavor is definitely anything chocolate.
Excellent. Those are my favorites. So that's the end of rapid fire sevens. Now going into your last, so now you guys will play a shortened max season in the spring of 21, in this past year. What were your thoughts on that? Were you happy to play a shortened season against just MAC opponents, or do you think that whole season just should have been canceled?
I think it was good. I think because we only had three seniors leaving, we still had the majority of the team staying for the fall. I think it was good for us because it sprung us into the fall on good terms and where we were at and stuff like that. And I'm glad that the seniors at least got like a couple extra games so that they can play before they ended their career.
Exactly. Yeah. So you guys will go 5-4 in that little COVID season. Then made a quick turnaround into the fall for 21. So did you stay in Michigan like because it was that quick of a turnaround for that season, or did you head back to California, fly back out? Take me through that.
I went back home because I have to work in order to like pay for rent and groceries and stuff like that. So I had to go back home. I only went back home for like 2.5 months, and then I ended up coming a little bit early to do like voluntary workouts and stuff like that. But I did end up going home.
So that season, beginning of this past season in the fall, you guys would play against Marquette the first game of the year. Did you feel like you guys were already in sync because of the season you guys just finished up in the spring?
I do, yeah. We had like the same formation and everything, and basically like the same players almost. So it almost felt like we never left the pitch and we were able to pick up right where we left off, which is really nice.
Yeah, you guys ended up playing teams like Michigan and Michigan State. Both are very, very tough programs,
Mhm.
especially what they've built up over the years. Um, so you guys would end up going 9-7-1 to earn a spot in the MAC tournament. So just first of all, just that game going back to Eastern, playing that game against Eastern in Ypsilanti to clinch that spot. Did you guys know that if you won that game that you were going to be in, like, or did you just not even think about it, or just take me through that, like, okay, we got to win, we got to clinch a spot in the tournament. If we don't, it's over, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so that game definitely was a game that we needed to win in order to get into the MAC tournament. But we also had a good chance because we beat Ohio. That if we lost or tied, as long as Miami, Ohio lost to Ball State, that we would be in the tournament. And then I remember it was the end of the game. We were going into overtime, and our coach told us that Miami lost. And so we're basically in the tournament. And we were like, no, but we still want to win this game because Eastern
Absolutely.
always somehow like knocks us out of the tournament every year. And we were like, we still want to win this game. And then I think it was like 5 minutes into the game, and then we scored and we won. And it was great.
Yep. So you guys would clinch your spot to the MAC tournament. You guys would match up against Buffalo, who you beat on October 10th again. That was my 21st. Go figure. So and you know, it was a close game. It was 2-1. That was the final for Buffalo in overtime. So your season and your career as a Chip came to a close, unfortunately. So after that, so now that the season's done, a couple days passed since it's been done. Um, you know, do you plan on playing soccer again for maybe another club team professionally in the US or overseas, or just want to enjoy your life, either, finishing up your school here at CMU or heading back to Cali, or what are your plans now?
Right now, I am looking at continuing to play. I feel like my time isn't done yet. Like it doesn't feel right to just close that chapter yet. So I'm looking at either playing like in Mexico, where my dad's from, or like close to home, like LA, maybe LA Galaxy or a San Diego team or something like that.
LA Galaxy, that's definitely it's a pretty big step up. That's
I know.
that's hitting it big. Um, so yeah, it only makes sense for I guess, yeah, because Michigan does not have a team like that. I don't think we do. Not yet. Not yet.
Mm.
I think we're gonna get one in the next couple of years, but nothing that would affect your plans to go pro. But no, that would be very interesting just to see, because I ended up seeing a couple of games for you playing at Central. Be really cool to see you play as a member of the Galaxy. That'd be really cool. That'd be really cool. So, Samantha, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for coming on, being the first soccer player and probably the only soccer player, because there's about 5 shows left and everything's getting wrapped up here. So I really appreciate your time, and I really hope you become a member of the Galaxy. I just can't get that out of my mind. Like, yeah, you could be on a member of the Galaxy like in 2 years,
That
a
would
year
be
or so.
insane.
So, this show will definitely be following you and following your path to the Galaxy or in Mexico, or wherever you land up. And so, wish you nothing but the best moving forward professionally.
Thank you so much for this. Thank you.
Wow, that was that. Well, first of all, first soccer player, pretty cool. Pretty cool to have a soccer player on for Central. Again, heartbreaking the way that they lost to the Bulls of Buffalo on Halloween in overtime. Just gut wrenching, because that team could have ran all the way to the finals for the MAC and maybe win the whole thing. So, but with that concludes this installment of the Hot Seat Sports Talk, Season 7, Episode 9. 5 shows are left. 5. I can't believe it. 5. 4 new guests, 1 show to wrap everything up. So I can't believe it. Cannot believe it. It's wrapping up. So until we meet again, as always, keep it fresh.